Yo, my name is Carrington and this is an easy beginner acoustic guitar lesson for Zombie by the Cranberries. We're going to start with the chord shapes, so let's get zoomed in. The first chord shape you need to know for this song is E minor. You're going to put your first finger on fret 2 of the A string, your second finger goes underneath that on fret 2 of the D string, and then you strum all 6 strings. Nice and easy. The next chord in this song is a C major 7. So you take your first finger and move it down to fret 2 of the D string, and your second finger goes on fret 3 of the A string, and then you strum 5 strings. Don't strum the low E up here. Just 5 strings, not the low E. Then you take your second finger and move it to the 3rd fret of the low E, and what you're going to also make sure you're doing here is with the underside of this finger, you want to be muting the A string. The A string doesn't want to make a sound. Even when I'm plucking it here, it's not making any sound, okay? And then we strum all of the strings again. And that gives us what is essentially an easy version of a G chord, but they do actually do this in the song, in the intro. And then what you do is you move your first finger down to the 2nd fret of the low E there as well. And again, the underside of that first finger should be muting the A string. We don't want that A string to play because it's going to sound a bit muddy if it does. And this essentially is, it's an E minor chord with an F sharp in the bass. So we've got this bass movement here. Some nice chord movements there. Then we want to learn the different chord shapes for the chorus. We want to be able to differentiate between the intro and the verses and the choruses, okay? And the choruses are a lot heavier. So we've essentially got the same chord progression, but we're using power chords. So we're doing an E5 power chord. So if you place your first finger on fret 2 of the A string, and then you're going to pluck just the low E and the A string. So it's just a 2-note chord. That's an E5 chord. Then your next one is going to be a C5 chord, a C power chord. So your first finger comes up to fret 3 of the A, and then you can use your pinky on fret 5 of the D string. And you're only going to strum the A and D strings. Here's a bonus tip, right? So if you can use your first finger to mute the underside of the low E there, it should be touching the low E so that when you strum, you're not accidentally getting the low E and making everything sound messy, okay? And then the other side of the first finger should be muting all the strings that way. So the tip of the first finger mutes the low E here, and the underside of the first finger mutes all of the other strings underneath. And then your strumming hand's free to kind of do what it wants. If I'm not doing any muting, this is what happens. Not a terrible sound, but it's not the sound that we're looking for. We're looking for that rocky, edgy sound. Then what we do is we take that same shape and we move it up to the low E. And again, those muting rules still apply. Obviously this time, the tip of the first finger hasn't got anything above to mute, but we can still mute everything that's underneath. And that will be a G5 power chord. And then to get the final chord, which is, it's an F sharp and a D. So essentially this would be a D with an F sharp in the bass, okay? We move that first finger down 1 fret and keep that pinky where it is from the previous chord. And altogether we would get same chord progression, but just play slightly differently because we want to rock it up. We want to differentiate between the different sections. If you haven't downloaded my free beginner guitar survival kit yet, I suggest you do that from a link in the description. Lots of handy little PDFs that are going to help you out with your guitar playing and your practice routines and finding chords and combinations, etc. Let's get on with the song. So to learn this song, you've essentially got 3 main parts. You've got a clean guitar part, which has a strumming pattern of its own, a distorted guitar part which has a different strumming pattern, and then a fairly simple lead guitar part which I'm going to show to you anyway, but you don't have to do it if you don't feel like you're up to doing the lead guitar part just yet. So the clean guitar part, the part that we hear in the intro, when played at speed, as you know, it sounds like this. And so on and so forth, okay? But we're going to slow it down to 60 beats per minute using a metronome, and we're going to play you the strumming pattern and verbalize it very, very slowly. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, down, 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 up, up, down, 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 up. Notice where I was changing the chords there, okay? And you can see those chord changes quite clearly on your screen. So 60 beats per minute is the tempo I was doing there. If you do need to slow that down a little bit, then you can. And that same guitar part, you can play all the way through the song, in fact, because it's the same 4 chords throughout with some slight variations here and there. But the next thing that happens is we get to the distorted guitar introduction, which comes in at 13 seconds. Okay, and played at speed, that sounds like this. Okay, now the great thing about this is the strumming is all downstrokes. So let's slow that down, do a metronome at 60 beats per minute, and do this bit as well. Here we go. 2, 3, and 4, and down, 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 down. 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... And when that distorted intro comes in at 13 seconds, you actually do the part we've just played there. You do that twice, and that'll get you through that distorted part. Then, after that distorted intro, at 37 seconds, we have another clean intro. And on the second part of that clean intro, the one that's the same as the beginning, this is where we have the lead guitar part. Okay? And so, the lead guitar part, as you know, sounds like this. Fairly simple, right? So to play this lead guitar part, we're going to start with the first finger on fret 7 of the high E string, and we're going to pick it with a downstroke with our picking hand, down, and then we're going to use the second finger on fret 8 and do an upstroke with our picking hand. So we've got 7, 8, down, up. Then we take our first finger to fret 5 and do a downstroke, and our third finger to fret 7 and do an upstroke. So we've got 7, 8, 5, 7. Then we take our first finger down to fret 3 and do a downstroke, and our third finger to fret 5 and do an upstroke. So we've got 7, 8, 5, 7, 3, 5. Then our first finger goes down to fret 2 and we do a downstroke, and we do an upstroke on fret 3 with the second finger. So we've got 7, 8, 5, 7, 3, 5, 2, 3. Then our second finger that's on that third fret of the high E comes up to the B string, and we play the third fret of the B string twice. And then we take that second finger off and play an open B string. So all together, 7, 8, 5, 7, 3, 5, 2, 3, B string, 3, 3, open. And that there is the lead guitar part of a zombie. So after that lead guitar part, the vocal comes in, you know. Another head hangs slowly. So on and so forth. That's at 48 seconds after the lead guitar. And we just play that same chord progression 4 times in a row. E minor, C major 7, E minor over G, E minor over F sharp. Then we get to a chorus at 1 minute 35, and we come back into those power chords again. And then we've got a chorus tag at 1:58, and it's the same distorted guitar part, but we just play through once. Then we've got the third intro at 2 minutes and 9 seconds. And that's the same as the second intro, which is with the clean chords and then the lead guitar part over the second part. So you're beginning to see now how all of these parts are the same throughout the song. And then from that point, we've got another chorus at 307, a chorus tag at 329, another distorted guitar. And then at 352, we get to a bass guitar solo. Now at this point, this is where the chords do change a little bit at 352. And you're just going to strum E minor and C major 7. 2, 3, 4, C major 7. 2, 3, 4, back to E minor. 2, 3, 4, and then C major 7 again. 2, 3, 4. And then you've got a guitar solo, which is probably a little bit complex for this stage, beginner guitar playing stage, but that comes in at 403, and you can play underneath that with the clean chords or the distorted chords. And that's it, that's the whole song. If you enjoyed that tutorial and you want to learn more songs, check out the video that is on your screen now.